white man that I've worked for. If he's alive today, he's a liberal with a capital L. His name was Gagsteiner. I asked him about some books on the African people in ancient history. And in the language of the South, he let me down slow. I mean, he spoke kindly. He said, you know, John, I'm sorry that you came from a race that's made no history. But if you persevere, if you obey laws and study hard, you make history someday.
When I was growing up, I was taught in American history books that Africa had no history, and neither did I. That I was a savage, about whom the less said the better, who had been saved by Europe and brought to America. And of course, I believed it. I didn't have much choice. Those are the only books there were. Everyone else seemed to agree.
So let's discuss these quotes. History is a set of lies agreed upon. A lie told often enough becomes the truth. The victor writes the history. Now, history, a set of lies agreed upon, so they agreed upon saying that Africans or black people have no significant history to speak of. This cannot be denied because they've said this several times. They say it's the dark continent, but yet they have our artifacts all throughout their museums and private collections. I mean, this is what they agreed upon. So this quote is perfect. It makes perfect sense. Now, a lie told often enough becomes a truth, so they repeat the lie about black people having no significant history to speak of. They say it over and over and over and over and over again until people can't think for themselves and realize that they're being duped. It's like being in a cult. When you're in a cult, you can't think for yourself. You just believe what the cult says. That's it. Even despite the hypocrisy in the cult, you know, people still believe it for some reason. It's just bizarre. And history is written by the victors. Well, the victors could say whatever they want. That's what you have to realize. If they win, they can say whatever they want about the history. And especially people that they don't like. They don't have to tell the truth. And the thing is that if I don't like you, why would I say anything good about you if I don't really like you? I don't like you at all. I'm not going to say anything good about you. So these quotes are very powerful, but it just seems that people don't understand them because when I try to, you know, make people understand that they've been lied to and I point certain things out, like, for example, that slaves were property. Like, property is valuable. Why in the world would you purposely damage or destroy your property? Like, I say this to people, like, they don't want to answer the question. If you had a business, would you purposely damage or destroy your property? Well, of course not. Why would I do that? You know, but there are some idiotic people that would do that. That's the thing. So when I point things like that out, they want to ignore me completely, or they want to argue with me like I could do whatever I want with my property. Yes, but why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. So the whole narrative about slavery doesn't make sense. And then when you say this, some of them start to think, but they push back because they're indoctrinated into thinking that black people were so pathetic that they allowed themselves to be brutalized for decades upon decades and pretty much not do anything about it. And if you know anything about black people, we wouldn't tolerate that kind of nonsense. That was happening to some black people, and those black people actually rebelled, which is why you had some rebellions in the South. But these quotes are very, very powerful, and people should keep them in mind when studying history.